Welcome back. Time for us to head on down to Attleboro High School. Rathbun Willard Drive in Attleboro. Joining us as always, the principal at AHS, Carol Martin. How are you today, Carol?
I'm fine, Peter. Good morning.
Good morning. Boy, the picture looks nice and clean today. Media One technicians must have been doing their homework, so to speak. You look very good today.
Thank you, and thanks to Jeff Carr, who works very diligently at the studio end to make sure everything's right for us.
Now, I recognized earlier as we were going into the commercial break someone that I have yet to return a phone call to. It was on my list of things to do today now that we've got that Attleboro Rotary auction out of the picture. Dave Murphy, I saw over there. He's one of your guests today, and I did not catch the other gentleman.
I'd like to introduce you to Mr. Maurice Camaret, who many of our community members know as a foreign language teacher and the head of the foreign language department. He's here with us today as the assistant principal for programs and operations. We're going to talk this morning about some programs that we have up and coming for our 8th grade parents and our 8th grade students who will join us next year as the class of 2004.
Very good. I don't know much about French, but I'll do my best there. Okay, so 8th grade, it's hard to believe we're already starting to talk about next year and some of the 8th graders and the planning involved with making their selections, huh?
Our plans have been in place for quite some time. We're just ready to now begin to share that with parents and students and the teachers at 8th grade at each of the 3 middle schools. I'm going to turn the mic over to Mr. Camaret, who's going to talk about the first event that was due to take place this evening called Blue Pride and our 8th grade parent orientation session. This evening's ceremonies have been moved to next Wednesday evening due to the services for Mr. Dench that will be taking place this evening. But Mr. Camaret is going to talk a little bit about our 8th grade parent orientation evening and Blue Pride night.
Good morning, Peter.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm just fine. How are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Good. Next Wednesday night, we're going to have the parents here for 8th graders to tell them about, it's an annual thing that we do, and we're going to have all the coordinators here to tell them about all of the courses that we have that are available for freshmen. We'll have a dean here to tell them about the discipline code that's expected for the freshmen, and we'll also have a person who deals with the schedule for us who will be telling us all about the different aspects of the schedule that students need to know when they come to Attleboro High School. That will be followed by all of the activities that will be happening in the boys' gym. Well, what used to be the boys' gym is now called the large gym, and all the Blue Pride events. The Blue Pride events, as you know, are all of the activities that go on at school that are showcased. It's really like a trade show where you go from booth to booth and the students present the actual event that is going on in that particular association. And also there are musical performances, and there are also the play and the dance groups that are showcased and performed for the people who are there. It's very well attended every year.
Boys, Jim, you know you're showing your age. Not many of us remember when it was referred to as the boys' gym.
Well, I do indeed. I've been here a very long time.
Sure, some days it seems even longer than others,
That's
right?
True.
So Blue Pride night and the parents' orientation will now take place the same night.
Right. It was scheduled like that to be tonight, actually. The parents, 8th grade parents, will be coming in at 6 o'clock, and the Blue Pride events start at 6:30.
Which, for people who have not attended Blue Pride night in the past, it's really quite a night, and I'm not sure, well, I guess the public, whether you have students coming to Attleboro High School or not, the public's invited to Blue Pride night, right? Because I think it's a great opportunity to learn a lot about our high school.
Oh, they are indeed. Actually, it's not just the parents of students who come to Attleboro High School. Many, many community people come to see. Actually, the school belongs to the whole community, so it's very appropriate for them to come to see what the one high school we have in Attleboro does for all of these students in Attleboro, as well as all of the community at large.
So that is next Wednesday night, 6 o'clock, the orientation at 6:30, Blue Pride night gets underway. What are some of the other activities on the horizon?
Well, actually, Friday night we have a dance for the 8th graders. actually, it's the first time we do that, and it was Dave's idea that we do a dance for 8th graders so that they will be oriented to the high school, not just academically, but socially as well. So we're expecting about 350 students to be here on Friday night for a dance in Cafeteria B1.
Did you draw the straw to chaperone that one?
Did you draw a straw to chaperone?
Yeah, I'm going to be the chaperone. Actually, I'm going to be the chaperone because the other two are going to be out of the country.
Oh, what a shame, huh?
So I got lucky.
They drew straws. Let's see. Some of us go out of the country, others chaperone an 8th grade dance. But no, it's really a great idea because socially, although you're not interacting with high school students, get you used to what you're going to encounter in high school. And Dave, great idea.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gay.
Peter, please. You're making me feel old. Almost as old as Mr. Camaret there with his boys' gym and girls' gym. Only kidding, though. But now, Dave, the idea of the 8th graders coming into the school for a dance next Friday night, how'd you come up with that?
Well, I think one of the things we've learned over the past couple of years that the most important impression that we make on incoming students to the high school is their first impression. And the hope is that we'll be able to give them a positive impression of Attleboro High School before they even get here, and hopefully that'll carry over throughout their freshman year and throughout their 4 years here.
Now, you are involved with student government, right?
Right. I'm the president of the Student Council.
President of the Student Council, and although you're not around next year,
That's right.
You are already, and your senior class is playing a big role in next year's freshman class.
Well, that's true, and I think that's one of the most important responsibilities of the senior class as you get to be older in the school and as you become to take on a leadership role in the school. It's important to plan for the future and to hopefully leave a good impression for other students to follow.
Very quickly, I don't want to get away from the theme here, but this year's Student Council, Student Government, how have things gone? You're the president. Have you met your expectations?
Things have been extremely busy, but they've also been very rewarding, and I think we've accomplished a lot.
Now, I don't know about you, but I think Jason Kane's got the best gig of all. He's never in school. He's in Boston again today. He always tells me, oh, geez, I'm in Boston all day. Or, oh, geez, I'm down the Cape today. Well,
That's true.
What's his gig?
He's a busy man. He's a busy man. You know, he's got to split up his time to keep everybody happy, I guess.
Yeah, which even though he misses class, he's still got to do the homework.
That's correct. He does.
He's not as lucky as I thought he might
Right.
be. Very good. Dave,
Thank you.
Mr. Camaret, what are some of the other things?
You mean activities in school that are coming
Yeah.
up? We have the junior prom, which is on March 31st, it's Friday next week. We also have the Honor Society induction that is coming up, awards night, Guys and Dolls. Guys and Dolls is in early April. So there's always a lot of stuff going on here at Attleboro High School. There's never a day where there aren't activities. Actually, Wednesday night there's also a concert. Tomorrow night there's a concert at 7 o'clock with Bishop Fee Attleboro High and North Attleboro High right here in our auditorium. So again, everybody's invited to come to that, certainly.
Very good. A lot going on, and I think it was Carol, our first segment, discussing a few weeks ago, discussing the fact that Attleboro High School at one time or another, pretty much from 6 in the morning till 10 at night, there's always something going on in the building, and today certainly proof of that. I want to thank you for joining us this morning. So Blue Pride Night, Parents Orientation, next Wednesday night. What is the date on that? Today's the 21st.
It's the 29th.
That would be the 29th. 6 o'clock for the Parents Orientation. Is that in the auditorium?
No, the parents' orientation is in B1.
I'm sorry. B1 cafeteria, and then Blue Pride Night, of course, is in the large gymnasium at the high school. Super. Good luck with that. And Dave, I'll give you a holler later on today.
Thank you.
All right. Carol, busy time of year. we're approaching the last of the sports season, so I always cut the year up into thirds, so we're approaching the last third of the school year, but still a lot going on at AHS.
As you noted earlier, there is always a lot going on at AHS. We have a lot of activities for our seniors. We will be doing additional activities for our sophomores, for the incoming freshmen. And of course, we have MCAS. We do have some academic things that we do every day. MCAS will be here in May.
Which I'm sure the principal just sits back and relaxes when they come in, right?
If I could find a day to relax, it may be July.
On a beach somewhere. Carol, thank you very much, and I want to thank everyone behind the scenes. You mentioned Jeff, but the camera people and so on. Very good segment today, and looking forward to having you join us again next Tuesday.
Thank you. We'll be here.
All right. Carol Martin, and of course, the services for Bill Dench, who passed away on Friday. I mentioned that yesterday on our program. Longtime teacher in the Attleboro school system, a longtime boys swim coach, a girls swim coach, a member of the Swimming Coaches Hall of Fame. Passed away, wake this afternoon and tonight. The funeral services tomorrow, and certainly appropriate to postpone Blue Pride Night to next Wednesday. We're going to take a short break, then I'll be back with a quick look at the morning newspapers. We'll have sports, lottery numbers, World at Your PC, story time, and more after this. Getting worse, doesn't it? But it could be snow. Remember that. Time for us to head on down to Rathbun Willard Drive in Attleboro. It's our weekly Attleboro High School segment. I'm not sure this vehicle would work today with all of the rain and the clouds. But Chip Rocha of the Vocational Department at Attleboro High School has an exciting project that he wants to tell us about. How are you this morning, Chip?
How are you doing? Oh, I'm sorry. I'm well, thanks. How are you?
Fine, thank you. Glad it was your problem and not ours, because we've been jumping through hoops here with some of the technical problems.
And I was going to ask if this was on.
I had a chance with the Attleboro Lions Club to visit Attleboro High School about a month and a half ago. And we received a tour of the vocational facilities at Attleboro High School, and they pointed out this car that was in the process of being made. And I was fascinated by it, and I'm sure the viewers today are going to be fascinated by it as well. The fact that our local high school is accomplishing something like this.
A month and a half ago, calling it a car may have been stretching it a little, as you probably noticed. I thought it would be kind of fun this morning. It really is an exciting project, and with me are Peter Schoonmaker, Ron Pond, two of the staff members, and also some students that are currently working on that project. And I thought probably the best thing to do would be just to turn it over to the two instructors, and they'll take you through it.
Very good.
Hi, I'm Pete Schoonmaker. Next to me is Ron Pond. What we're working on is a project involved with building a car for the Tour de Sol. This is a competition sponsored by the Northeast Sustainable Energy Association. This year it runs the first week in May from New York to Washington, D.C., and we're hoping to have something put together by then that will actually run. We'll see if it comes together in time. Now, the process involves getting a car together that is electric. This is going to be an electric car. There's lots of classes that we could be entered in, but it is basically a battery-powered car, and in fact, it would run today. We charge the batteries overnight. We'll be able to run a certain distance on batteries alone, but we're going to augment our range with solar panels. So the solar panels will be providing energy during the day to augment the battery power. So we wouldn't be able to go as far today, but we'd get someplace. We considered at the beginning of the project purchasing a car that was either in kit form or purchasing a standard Detroit car, converting that to battery power, but that wasn't hard enough for us. When you get a mechanical engineer and a race car builder together, we got to do everything the hard way. The other thing we wanted to do was also involve communication skills, math skills, science skills. So we decided that instead we would make a point to build something ourselves, design it from the ground up. In a couple of minutes here, we're going to see some video of what we've actually accomplished. Mr. Pond here is going to tell us all about what's going on with that. So if we're ready, maybe we could take a look at the pictures that Jeff shot the other day.
7, 6.
It's certainly no ordinary road race.
5, 4, 3.
It's not about speed.
We have to observe all posted limits.
2, 1, and take it away.
And it's not about making a lot of noise. The quieter, the better.
If you've never ridden in an electric vehicle, I'd use the word eerie.
Electric vehicles from across the country silently revved into high gear as they left the starting line, setting them on a week-long road race through the rough terrain of the Northeast.
Now you can see in a picture here that this is our actual car going together. We're building our chassis out of 2x3 rectangular aluminum tubing. This is our metal fabrication lab and our students working on it. Right now they're doing some heliac welding, some TIG welding. And all the joints are, my group here has put together fabricated all the pieces to be assembled here in the welding department. So it's a collaboration between our students and the welding department. And you'll see some other departments involved. We have some students here that's squaring up the chassis now, and you can see that it's taking shape. In this case here, they're checking to make sure the lengths that we gave them are right and that it's perfectly square. Now, the car itself has to withstand a 3G impact, so we have to really make it structurally sound. We're building a 3-wheel design. It happens to have a front fork, and that's what you're looking at here. The front fork is basically going to hold the front wheel, but it's also going to steer, and it's going to drive off the front wheel, so it's a 3-wheel design. In the process, we've cannibalized a few motorcycle parts. We're going to use the hydraulic brakes. We see one of my students here taking the front rotor off a motorcycle. We're going to incorporate that in some of our design. What we've done is tried to use what we have available and donated. We have some students here in the machine shop now that are actually machining parts. And this part that they're machining right now is the front wheel axle device. It's going to hold the front wheel in place. This, again, is made out of aluminum, has to be machined fairly close. These students that are working on it now aren't real vocational students. These are regular academic students that have come down and tried to enlighten themselves on how things are really made. These students are pursuing some engineering. They want to pursue engineering, so they're kind of designing as we go. In this case here, we're going to build a lot of our components to make them work, and then we're going to draw them in AutoCAD and define our drawings, get them as close as we can to making this car work. And we should be on the ground in a few weeks with our 3 wheels. Thank you.
So so you're entering this in the contest?
Well, this car we're a little behind schedule. We've only started at the end of the second semester, so we've got probably 7 weeks into this car that you see right now, the chassis that we have designed. And we're designing as we go, so we don't really have a blueprint to work from. We're designing and building right from scratch. So it's a long process. We're going to try to get there. If not, maybe we can attend the race. And this project will go on for years. As the project gets completed, it'll be constantly updated, and we'll bring it to the races and test the vehicle and make sure that we have the range that we need, the speeds that we need, because there are some rules that we have to pass. And we'll re-engineer the car and redesign it so it'll be passed down from grade to grade. In other words, the sophomores have working on it now could probably work on this car for 3 years and then hand it down. Some of the schools that we're going to compete against have the same vehicle for 4, 5, 6 years and redesigned it to really make it very efficient, you know.
Very interesting. Now, who drives it if you have it ready for the competition?
Well, I'm going to turn that over to some of my students. The students have a good idea. They've been working on it now, like I say, for probably 6, 7 weeks, so they will know all these questions.
Okay. So
Okay.
Well, if each student could introduce himself and what year he is in.
Okay.
I'm Eric Dubuque. I'm a freshman at Edinburgh High. I enjoy working on the car. It's a lot of fun. I'm interested in mechanicism.
Now, Eric, quick question. When you decided you were coming to Attleboro High School, did you ever have any idea you'd be working? I mean, this looks like a fun project, something to be excited about coming to school. Any idea you'd be working on something like this?
No.
Put the microphone a little bit closer, rest it right on your chin there. There you go.
No, I had no idea. I'm glad that I'm in the class and I enjoy it.
So as a freshman, you are going to see a lot of this car over the next few years.
Yes.
All right. And what are some of the things you've learned through this project?
Well, I use the machines in the machine shop, and I enjoy doing that, machining the pieces to the right measurements.
Now, you mentioned mechanics, right? Would you eventually like to open up your own automobile repair business?
I'm really not sure. I'm really interested in motorcycles.
You and Michelle. Michelle loves motorcycles as well. Okay, Eric, thank you very much. Pass the microphone to your right there, and we'll get a nice shot of that individual, Jeff Carr's group doing that. And if you could introduce yourself and what year you're in.
Hi, I'm Craig Masson, and I'm a freshman.
Is it Greg?
Craig.
Craig. Now, Craig, how about you? Any idea when you came to the high school that you'd be working on this project?
No.
What are some of the things you've learned?
How to like weld and take measurements and using different machines. How to use computer programs to help build, design blueprints for the car for the different parts.
Now, high school, you still have for the rest of your freshman year, sophomore, junior, senior year. Any idea after high school what you might want to be doing?
I'd like to become like a painter and paint murals on cars and do different painting designs for automobiles and stuff like that.
Fantastic, some good money. So when this is all done, are they going to let you do any painting on the car?
Hopefully.
Very good. Pass the microphone forward if you could, and we'll meet the next of the students participating in this project. Your name is?
Josh now.
Josh? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see you often. Josh, what year are you in, Josh?
I'm a junior.
You're a junior, so you've only got the rest of this year and then next year with this car.
Yep.
Now, how about you? You've worked freshman, sophomore year. This the most exciting of the projects you worked on thus far?
Yeah. I like doing the machine and the pots and stuff and all the bearing block and all that. Like machining it in the shop. It's fun.
Now, I would think for someone who's impatient, you want to finish this thing, get it going, but seems like it would be a very slow, methodical process of working on each part individually. Do you ever wish you could come in weekends and try to get this thing done a little bit earlier?
Yeah, somewhat, yeah.
Now, how about you after high school? What are you planning on doing?
I'm going to go into mechanics, like cars and stuff.
So someday, years from now, if I'm complaining about my car not running properly, would you have your own place?
Probably. Hopefully.
Which, years ago, I mean, cars, all you needed to know was the mechanics, but now just about every car that's made has computer systems interacting with the mechanical mechanisms and so on. Would you agree with me that this is a great opportunity to learn all aspects of what you need to know?
Yes, it would.
Very good.
We're learning a lot.
All right, Josh, individual right in front of you there. Your name is?
My name's Derek Goulet. I'm a senior.
So, Derek, 7 weeks till the competition. You have not much longer than that in school. Going to be able to complete this before you graduate?
Probably not.
Oh, now that's got to be somewhat frustrating, disappointing.
Yeah, it's kind of disappointing, but...
Now, they're going to let you drive the car then?
No, I'm a little too big.
Now, when you say too big, have to be a certain size?
You have to be 135 pounds or lighter.
Wow. Now, how about height? Do you have to be 5'8" or less?
I don't think height really matters.
Okay, but can't be too heavy. Now, why is that? The frame just wouldn't hold anything strong?
Efficiency.
Okay. Now, how do you determine efficiency and weight and all of that? Is that through some mathematical formula or something you
Well,
figure
weight-
out in the computer?
Weight to horsepower ratio.
Now, you're a senior. You graduate in, actually, I think graduation's the first week in June. What are you planning on doing next year, Derek?
I'll probably work and go to school part-time.
Very good. Any idea after school what you might want to be doing?
I wouldn't mind being an engineer.
Big money being an engineer, you know. You could buy your own electric car with that kind of money. Derek, thank you very much. If you could just hand the microphone to your left, and we'll meet the last of the students participating today. Your name is? What? I thought there was
We
one.
got everybody, Peter.
We did. I'm sorry. You know, I got thrown off. I thought there were 3 in the back, 2 in the front. My apology. Fascinating. Now, the 130-pound, and I asked earlier who might be driving it. Do you have anybody in mind right now?
Well, it has to be somebody with a valid driver's license. This car is actually going to be registered in the state of Massachusetts. For liability reasons, we want to have somebody who's at least 18 years old. And frankly, we haven't picked anybody yet.
Now, how fast will this car be able to go? I mean, would you be able to take it on the highway?
In order to enter the contest, we have to be able to do 45 miles an hour on a 5% grade. I would suspect that on a flat street, we ought to be able to do pretty close to 55 miles an hour.
That's unbelievable, huh? And built from scratch right there at Attleboro High School. Now, I noticed the different cars that were in the videotape that Jeff Carr had put together. They're all shiny paint jobs, looked like something you'd buy off one of the lots. When this car is completed, is it going to look like that?
Not really. We're going to design and build our own body. I've got access to some materials like Kevlar that we can build a skin to the outside. So we're actually going to work with the art department to design a concept of what the car would look like, working around our perimeters of length and height of our car that are in the rules. And what we're going to do is shape the car to make it aerodynamic, and we'll run an aerodynamic test on it to make sure that we do have the right amount of balance in the car. The body is going to be one of those things that it's going to require that we build like a small rib cage around the car and attach the body to it. The body has to have access for the driver to get in and out, so we build some sort of a hatch. We'll probably make it an open cockpit at first, and then eventually close the cockpit in. The batteries that we're going to use are a gel lead battery, which don't give out. We don't have any problem with a hydrogen gas inside. So if we enclose the car, we won't have an environmental problem. It'll be safe to drive. So it's we have a few sponsors. We've talked to people at TI, MedFab Engineering, Tri-State Fasten. A few of these people have expressed interest in helping us out and supplied us with material and stuff to work on the car.
Now, are you going to let Chip draw some designs?
I don't know if you'd have to give me a few samples of his work first. I don't know.
Now, finally, I asked the students some of the things they're learning from a project like this. As an educator, what are some of the things that were your goal heading into this project?
Well, I don't consider what I have as a class. It's more of a team. I have 2 periods a day where I have 2 separate groups, and usually the groups are around 12 students in each group. And I'm trying to get across to students how important it is to be a self-starter, to get involved with the project as a team, and I can send students off in different directions. Because I'm by myself in the classroom when we're building the car, I expect my students to be mature enough to go to other areas, take a responsibility of doing the task on hand and bringing it back, almost like you would say in a college. And this project is basically a college project. You'd see that an engineering school might have a project like this for a final project where a team would work together and do a car like this. It's fairly difficult. We're talking about a design that we just came up with. And we probably came up with too difficult a design at first, but we talked to an engineer at TI who was involved with a project at her college to take an engineering degree. She has an engineering degree at Harvard. And she said this was way too much for her to comprehend as far as time constraints and to build a car. And it is a big bite. I know that.
And if you could just pass the microphone back to Pete, we'll begin to wrap things up. Pete, I asked one of the students, motivation, gives you something you want to come in school for. And Ron mentioned the fact that it's more like a team. I would think this is an excellent educational experience for these students. And as an educator, it's a great way for them to apply some of the things they're learning in the classroom, other than just, it becomes more fun working on a project like this, and because of it, you learn more.
Absolutely. In fact, it gives me a reason to come in every morning. We have a lot of fun with this, and these guys, you asked them what they were learning as part of the project. They don't even know what they're learning. We're sneaking a lot of this stuff in when they're not looking. A lot of math skills, communication skills, drawing skills. They're learning it while they're doing. It's great stuff.
Fantastic. A name for the car yet? Blue
Not
Pride
yet.
or something like that? Interesting. All right, guys, great project, and when it's finally completed, would love to see it in action. Thank you very much. And if you could pass the microphone back to Chip, you may have already done so. But Chip, excellent presentation today, and I want to thank Jeff Carr for putting that video together. I say it week in, week out to Carol. So many things going on at Attleboro High School that people really just know nothing about, and that's why this segment on this program I enjoy so much, and I know others enjoy. I think the average person living in Attleboro, Chip, has no idea just how much is involved and how many different things students are learning down at the high school.
I think you're right, Peter, and if I can lose 60 pounds in the next couple of months, I'm putting in an application to drive that car. I'd like to thank you for allowing us to come to the public like this. I think you're right. We get that all the time, comments like, gee, I really didn't know that you folks existed. And it's these types of projects that'll get us out, and we have a lot of fun with it.
Fantastic. Chip, anything we can ever do, just feel free to give me a holler.
Thank you very much.
And I want to thank everyone down there. Jeff Carr, I'm not sure who made up his crew today, but did an excellent job rolling in tape, the audio, the camera, the different shots, etc. I want to thank all of them as well. And everyone down at Attleboro High School, thank you very much. Let's see, do you have a commercial? No, you don't have a commercial there, do you? Because we need to change tapes. Let's go to an outside shot if we can. Still raining in downtown Attleboro? Tough to tell. Welcome, everyone. Time for us to head on down to Rathbun Willard Drive in Attleboro, our weekly Attleboro High School segment. And joining us, as always, the principal at Attleboro High School, Carol Martin. How are you today, Carol?
I am fine, Peter. Good morning.
Good morning. First of all, Blue Pride Night last Wednesday night. I heard some tremendous things about it.
It was a very exciting night. We had hundreds of people here, many more than we anticipated, which was really a nice surprise.
And Carol, big event coming up. I see some of the cast members there. A couple of them are in costume. Guys and Dolls coming to AHS.
It will be here within a few hours. As a matter of fact, our kids are already rehearsing today for their all-day rehearsal, and I have with me Peter Glass, who's going to introduce some of the students who were involved in the production today.
Hello, thank you. Guys and Dolls is coming up this weekend on Friday night, Saturday night at 7:30, and Sunday afternoon at 2 o'clock. We brought a little sample of what you're going to hear. I'm going to turn the mic over to some of our students and have them introduce themselves and sing a song for you.
Hi, my name is Kate Vitito. I'm a senior, and I'm playing one of the female leads, Sarah Brown.
Hi, my name is Christina Gianetti. I'm playing the other female lead, Adelaide.
Okay. Quick question. Guys and Dolls. Briefly, what is it about?
Guys and Dolls is about a bunch of crapshooters, gamblers, who they're pretty much addicted, and Adelaide's very frustrated at Nathan because he's always gambling, and it's just about people. And I don't know.
What period is it set?
The 1940s.
Okay. All right. And now you're going to sing for us, I understand?
Mm-hmm. We'll be singing Marry the Man Today. Is a song between Adelaide and Sarah, and our accompaniment is David Vernoni.
Okay.
What are we, crazy or something? At Wanamaker's and Saks and Klein's, a lesson I've been taught. You can't get alterations on a dress you haven't bought.
At any vegetable market from Borneo to Nome, you mustn't squeeze a melon till you get the melon home.
You simply gotta gamble.
You get no guarantee.
Now, doesn't that kind of apply to you and I?
You and me.
Whatever. Why not?
Why not what?
Marry the man today. Trouble though he may be, much as he likes to play. Crazy and wild and free.
Marry the man today, rather than sigh in sorrow.
Marry the man today and change his ways tomorrow.
Marry the man today.
Marry the man today.
Maybe he's leaving
Maybe
town.
he's leaving town.
Don't let him get away.
Don't let him get away.
Hurry and track him
Counterattack
down.
him and marry the man today.
Give him the girlish laughter. Give him your hand today and save the fist for after.
Slowly introduce him to the better things. Respectable, conservative, and clean.
Reader's Digest.
Guy Lombardo.
Rogers Pete.
Golf.
Galoshes.
Ovaltine.
But marry the man today. Handle it meek and gently.
Marry the man today and train him subsequently.
Carefully expose him to domestic life. And if he ever tries to stray from you, have a pot roast.
Have a headache.
Have a baby.
Have 2.
6.
9.
Stop! Marry the man today, rather than sigh in sorrow. Marry the man today and change his ways. And change his ways. And change his ways. Tomorrow!
Very good. Very good. And David, nice job back there as well. Christina, let me ask you a couple quick questions here. What other performances have you been in at AHS?
Well, I was in Music Man last year. I was one of the Pick a Little Talk a Little ladies. And I was in West Side Story.
One of the what?
The Pick a Little Talk a Little ladies.
What's a Pick a Little Talk a Little lady?
We were the town gossips,
Okay.
basically. And
With that hat, you look like you could be one of the town gossips again this year. And how about you, Kate? What are some of the performances you've been in the past?
I've been involved in the musical productions here at the high school since I've been in 7th grade. So I've been in Sound of Music up until now. So, and I also do show choir and band and chorus and all the stuff. So I've been in quite a lot.
Now, you're both seniors?
I'm a senior.
Senior? Now, what are you doing next year, Kate?
I'm going to be attending Rhode Island College, doing music education.
So come back as a teacher, you think?
Maybe.
Director?
Maybe. Thinking.
And Christina's a junior?
Yep.
And any idea down the road what you might want to do?
Well, I'm hoping to go on in music, but I'm not quite sure now. I'm still thinking about it.
All right. And I noticed David on the piano back there. What year is David in? Yeah,
I'm a senior.
You're a senior? How about you next year? What are you planning on doing, David?
Next year, I'm headed to the University of Connecticut to study music education.
Fantastic. And after you graduate, come back as a teacher at AHS, you think?
I think so. It'd actually be a pretty cool idea.
Yeah. By then, Mr. Glass will be taking one of those new packages they're allowing for teachers to retire and so on, so there'll probably be an opening.
We just won't tell him that.
Very good. And if you could just hand the microphone to Mr. Glass. Just an excellent performance by Christina, Kate, and David on the piano. How many hours, having been in plays myself years ago, I know how much work it is to put on a musical production like Guys and Dolls. How long have you people been working on this?
2 years. 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 2 ye A long time. This play was picked, we announced it to the kids the day after last year's show. So those of us that are involved in working on it, we actually started working on it before the last school year was out. We went to see productions of it this summer in community playhouses to get some different kinds of ideas. And when we came back to school, the work begins. Our cast auditioned in January, and we've been going full swing since January.
Fantastic. And the performances are when again?
Friday night, 7:30, Saturday night, 7:30, and Sunday afternoon matinee at 2 o'clock.
Fantastic. Guys and Dolls. And how long does the play run?
Pretty typical musical, runs just about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
With an intermission, or?
Yes.
Very good. Well, break a leg to all of you. Now, what do you do during the actual performance, Peter? You directing the orchestra?
I conduct out front, yes.
Yeah. Very good. Well, best of luck, break a leg, and bring down the house. What other cliches can I throw in there? That's about it, I guess.
Thank you very much.
All right. And Carol, should be quite a performance. It's at the Robert Bray Auditorium. Tickets are available at the door, I assume?
Tickets are available at the door. They are also available from cast and crew members here at school through the family network, so we say. So we do expect a large crowd. We encourage everybody to join us for the production. It's one of Attleboro's finest, as we know. The music department and all of the students do an absolutely fabulous job.
And reserved seating, is it?
No, it's open seating, so come as early as you can get here.
Fantastic. Carol, thank you very much. I saw you on TV last night. I was flipping around the channels, and the school committee was meeting, and they were talking about electives and courses and so on. And there was Carol Martin right on TV.
I didn't know when I took this job, Peter, that I would spend this much time on TV, so I think I need some pointers from you.
Well, you're doing a great job, and also want to point out Maria Petroni, Bob Duffin Jr., and Kevin Tomaso, who do a great job behind the scenes there at Attleboro High School, of course, with the guidance of Jeff Carr. Very, very special high school, Attleboro High School. Keep up the good work, all of you.
Thank you, Peter.
And we will see you next week, right? Because the following week's vacation week?
Yes, we'll have one more Tuesday with you before we break for April vacation.
Very good. All right, have a great week, everyone. Live from Attleboro High School, Rathbun-Willard Drive. Just an excellent, excellent job done by Christina Cade and David on the piano, and Peter Glass. If he's involved in a production, you know it's going to be first class, and want to thank everyone down at Attleboro High School. Quick look at some of the news headlines this morning.